ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Very good afternoon to one and all here. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Harsha for the nice introduction and his invitation also. When he called me a couple of days back, sir, we have one program like this. Can you come and talk? I said, on what? He said, about research, sir. About research. And then he slowly said, why don't you explain impact factor, H index and other things in the name of research metrics? I thought for a second, am I a right person to discuss about research metrics? But after 1 or 2 minutes of silence, then I got to say yes to him. The reason for that is I have been involved ಕಳೆದ 14-15 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ I'm actively involved in the research process, got many funding, visited different countries. Before visiting any country or any institution or any scientist, as my priority, like which country I should visit, which institute I am supposed to go and work for my further aspects, which scientist would be better to go and work with him and to continue my research. In order to decide where to go, which institution to visit, which scientist I am supposed to select, for these questions, this concept has helped me actually, research metrics. The concept of research metrics was not there right from the beginning. There are so many inventions have taken place, discoveries have taken place, like the one who discovered the light. He is not considered for research metrics actually. If you get fever, we take paracetamol. That is not being considered actually. Does it mean that there is no importance of light? There is no importance of fan? There is no importance of paracetamol? Absolutely, we say yes. But when does exactly it has started, this concept of research metrics? When 2 different colleagues were sitting in a department, always they want to compare whether I am better, whether he is a better. In an institution, people started comparing whether this lab is good, whether this lab is good. In a state, people started thinking which university is good, whether Mysore University is there or KSOU is good. In India, which institution is good, whether IAS is good or CCMB is good or NIN is good. In the country, which country is good? So this comparison has started. When comparison has started, institution, countries, labs, researcher, they started raising their hand, I am best, please consider myself, come to our university, come to our country. This is where the problem has started actually. slowly the whole world was in the competition to get or to show, I am the top one, I am the best one, our country is the number one country. So the competitors who are there in this competition, including India, took up seriously, all countries, made to run in that competition. As a result of that, we have research metrics today. So when I say this topic, first thing comes in your mind, why research metrics? At what levels it is being analyzed? How would I know what is my research metrics? How would I calculate whether I am doing right or wrong? ಈ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಬರೀ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲ. Every aspect which needs to be researched, invented, discovered, the point comes there. So that is where we landed up today in trying to know what exactly is research metrics. I have few slides to discuss about this. I have a link slides which relates what exactly is research metrics, and that's what I am going to discuss maybe for another 40 to 50 minutes. Well, yeah, this is about me, which is already Hasha has clearly mentioned. We were classmates, we were hostel mates, and we are friends, and we are always be together in the campus. So that's what made him to tell about me. But today, the countries like India are developing countries, including China, have a single concept. That concept is something says, publish or perish. I don't know how many of you are sitting here for the compulsory sake. Hopefully you understand compulsory sake. 6 days workshop is required for API calculation. 6 days workshop required for the application. 6 days workshop required to complete the research work. So it has become an obligation with compulsory. Even if we are not interested, made us to sit here. Even if we are very not happy, made us to do a research. So this compulsory option taken up by many countries, and I don't say today, this compulsory option is only countries like India, China. Everywhere it is there, including the so-called developed countries like USA, Canada, wherever I have visited, the labs I have visited, they made it compulsory actually. For every faculty, they made it compulsory. In single word, what I would like to say, it's a target-oriented research. Like I should publish good impact factor paper. I should publish this many number of papers. So get published in a good journal. If you can understand the research metrics that helps, if at all if you are interested in publishing your articles, where to publish, which platform I should take, whether I should take elsewhere, whether I should take Springer, whether I should take any other platforms. And if at all, if you have selected platforms, in that platform, which journal I am supposed to take, and how should I decide? In a big list of journals, in every platform today, if you can go through the website, thousands of journals are there. So which one to select? So that's where the research matrix comes. And if you can understand the research matrix, if you can follow the research matrix as and today, it helps us to find a better job. Because nowadays, all the institutions, all the companies, they wanted to know where exactly you stand. That you can show it in your application. This is what is my research matrix. This is what my candidature is all about. And of course, those who are already permanently placed in many institutions or universities for promotion, it has made it compulsory actually. You have to publish this many number of papers in peer review, in high impact factor journal. So this has become compulsory pattern for us. So we are supposed to mention the level at which we are doing the work. And of course, the merit of impact. 10 years back, impact factor was more than sufficient to publish a paper. 5 years back, high impact factor was more than sufficient to publish a paper. But today, impact factor is not so important to publish a paper. Instead of that, site score has come. The grading has come. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 journals. So in order to know what all comes under creamy layer, what all comes under next level, so this is all being done by means of research matrix. So as I said in my preamble to my talk, a research metric concept has become like one doddu roga actually, according to me. Every scientist, they want to know the research matrix. In India, there is a report which says that 0.25% are top rated scientists in India. In the world, highest cited scientist, like 3% of the total researcher. The research matrix of University of Mysore says something like that. That's why it cannot get a good NAC score. There is better institution where there is a high research matrix. In analysis and evaluation of countries and of course continents, I would say, like African country, European country research matrix, USA research matrix, Asian research matrix, then country-wise research matrix, then state-wise research matrix, and of course it goes up to the level of individual research matrix. And that's what I have few slides to show that, few points to show that. ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಾಗದಲ್ಲೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಒಬ್ಬ ಸೈಂಟಿಸ್ಟ್ನ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಟೀಚರ್ನ, ಒಂದು ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನ ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. In what way they are analyzing? Like metrics refers to measures, quantity. I'm really sorry to say this word, quantity, measurement. And of course, there comes the quality actually. But people are very much interested in knowing that also. So at different levels, the research metrics have been analyzed, like initially journal metrics. All journals are open to participate in the survey. In other words, they come forward by putting an application that my journal is something like this. Kindly consider under the research metrics calculation. So there comes the journal metrics. Then author metrics. Who are authors here? We, the one who publish the manuscripts. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ವರ್ಕ್ಶಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿದ್ರ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ I assume that, I strongly believe that you all are interested in publishing at different levels. So that's where comes author metrics. The next point is the journals get so many papers or manuscript, articles from the different researchers throughout the world. I am surprised to see that there are many journals proudly say that we are getting this much of publications for journal. So we are getting yearly 10,000 manuscripts to publish in our journal. That itself has become a metric. In their home page, they mention that we are getting more than 10,000 manuscripts for publication in the journal. That has become one point for metric actually. Why? More than 10,000 people are submitting papers to our journal. After submission, in almost all, there are many journals in their home page, they also show that the rate of rejection. You know what is rate of rejection? 10,000 ಪೇಪರು ನಮಗೆ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು 9,000 ಪೇಪರ್ನ ರಿಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. Proudly they are telling this. So that means 10,000ದಲ್ಲಿ 9,000 ಮ್ಯಾನುಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ನ ರಿಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. ಇನ್ನು 500ನ ನಾವು ರಿವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. 500ರಲ್ಲಿ 200 ಪೇಪರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಪಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. This is a metric. ಆ 200 ಪಬ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಥ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ is doing something like this. This is an article matrix. In that journal, out of 200 articles, which article is doing what? That is article matrix. And finally we have alt matrix. I would consider wonderful matrix, which is considered among the list. I'll let you know why. Alt matrix. This is nothing related to journal. This is nothing related to author. This is nothing related to article. But still there is an alt matrix. I have further slides to discuss about that. So when I say research metrics, though this point is not straight away concerned to this talk, but still I want to have that slide. Selection of topic. I don't know how many of you already selected topic. I don't know how many of you are interested in selecting a topic. Or I don't know how many of you are thinking, what topic should I select? Whenever I get an inquiry from research scholars in an email, they write, I know you are a professor in microbiology, and I am very happy to work in the field of viruses. That too, in inverted comma, they write coronavirus. So, taking a topic on coronavirus, probably you might be knowing what is the havoc which is caused by the coronavirus. Many are interested in working on coronavirus. Thousands of papers have come out after the lockdown. The ratio between before lockdown, after lockdown, the topic, the researchers worked on a topic coronavirus, there is a huge difference. So topic metrics, the point has come there. So before the COVID-19, there was no research being conducted on that. Suddenly, after lockdown, all over the world, including India, have published huge number of publications. Enormous research on that. From a microbiology point of view, I would like to say one word here. We, microbiologists, consider coronavirus is one of the most weakest virus. There are hundreds of viruses which are much more stronger than coronavirus. So there comes the topic problem. So one word I would like to say about the topic, no topic is inferior, no topic is advanced. Any topic may be advanced, any topic may be inferior. The way in which you work, the novelty you put in, the work you carry, you analyze, the results makes the difference of a topic. Any topic you can make, and finally you can come out by saying that this is one of the best topics which I have chosen. So media and other influences has an impact on research metrics. By taking coronavirus, I am telling that. Topic wise. Next comes which decides the research metrics is all about this, the review of literature. Today, there are so many different types of research metrics. All of them are based on this work. Review of literature. I hope that this is already being covered. Oh, it's not covered? Okay. So when I say review of literature, the moment you select a topic, any topic I am telling you, a topic of your interest, a topic of locally recognized. Like if somebody is interested in working with Bevinumara, like neem tree. In India we have huge neem trees. At the same time in USA there is no neem tree actually. United States of America researcher need not to work on neem tree. Neem trees are available in our country. We should work on that actually. That becomes a topic actually. So try to take a local importance. If somebody is from Ballari, impact of mining is a local problem. Mining and its consequences is a local problem. Complications of mining is a local problem. No others can come and work in the region of Ballari. The socio-economic imbalances or balances has to be studied in Ballari, in the Ballari region fellows actually. So whenever any topic you select for your research, the first question which comes in our mind is, how would I work on this topic? How would I decide the objectives? How would I design my experiment? If I design my experiment, how would I analyze my results? If I analyze my results, how would I represent the result? If I represent this result, is it same as others? Is it different than others? Is something new I found? Is something novelty I could see? For all these questions, review of literature is the solution. How to decide your objectives? Better search in the review of literature. Go to platforms like Google Scholar. I would say highly searched web engine, Google Scholar. You type your topic of interest. And you can ask for, I want to know in last 5 years what has happened, in last 2 years what has happened, in last year what has happened. All these possibilities are there in Google Scholar. From the inception, what is there? This you can find in review of literature, especially the platforms like Google Scholar. So why do you want to search? You want to know whether this topic is already being done by anybody. If at all, if they have done, what way they have analyzed. If at all, if they have analyzed, what is the conclusion they drawn? And finally, where they ended up. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಯಾವುದೇ ದಿನ ಒಂದು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ದೇ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಕೆಲಸ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಆ ತರ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ ಏನೂ ಆಗಿಲ್ದಿರೋ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ಇದು ದಿಸ್ ಡೈಲಮಾ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ರಿಸರ್ಚರ್ಸ್. ಐ ವುಡ್ ಸೇ ತುಂಬಾ ಆಗಿದ್ರೂ ತಗೋಬಹುದು, ಆಗಿಲ್ದೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರೂ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. The reason is the angle at which you see your problem is different than the angle at which I see the problem is different. Same topic na ಇಬ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, ಇಬ್ರನ್ನು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಲಾಬಲ್ ಇಟ್ಟರೆ, ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಥೀಸಿಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಒಂಥರ ಥೀಸಿಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇದೇ ಒಂಥರ ಥೀಸಿಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ಗುಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಈ ನಾರೋಲ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ, ಮೈಸೂರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಕ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬಯೋಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ, ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಲ್ ಮಿಲ್ಲೆಟ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಸಜ್ಜೆ. ಆ ಪರ್ಲ್ ಮಿಲ್ಲೆಟ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಫಂಗಲ್ ಪ್ಯಾಥೋಜನ್ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ಕಾಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಕ್ಲಿರೋಸ್ಪೋರಾ. ಪರ್ಲ್ ಮಿಲ್ಲೆಟ್ ವರ್ಸಸ್ ಸ್ಕ್ಲಿರೋಸ್ಪೋರಾ ಒಂದು 200 ಜನ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಪಕ್ಕ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? I don't know that actually, but there are more than 200 researchers worked on that aspect. Does it mean ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಮುಗಿದೋಯ್ತಾ? Good example I can give. Graham Bell ಟೆಲಿಫೋನ್ ಕಂಡಿಡಿದಾಗ ಇನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು, ಇನ್ಮುಂದೆ ಯಾರು ಟೆಲಿಫೋನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಫೋನ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೈಲಿ ಇರ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಫೋನ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, EDM ವರೆಗೂ ನಾವು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. And one good part is still we are not satisfied with the mobile actually. Still there is a advancement is required. So still we have complaints actually. So that's where the research is going on. So there is no end for any research. Absolutely, I would say the topmost cited, the topmost rated article in the history of research has lacunas, has problems, has discussion whether this is right or wrong. I'm not telling about the normal paper. So that's where we are actually. We researchers need to work in that way. Once you do your review of literature, there comes the problem of research metrics. Once you do your research, once you analyze your research, the next question starts. Whatever the data I have prepared, whatever the data I have represented, how should I publish as a manuscript? When I say manuscript, there are different types of manuscripts. Not all matrix are put into the same basket. All work, all research is not considered as same type. The most common ones are short communication, research manuscript, that is full length articles, are research communications, and the third one is review article. Is it only these three? Of course no. There are many others also. Letter to editor, then communication, then case reports, okay, then cohort studies, then book chapters, then books. Like that, there are different types of articles are there. So who will tell you about this? Nobody will come and see your manuscript. Nobody can advise whether your paper comes under cohort studies, whether your work comes under case studies, whether your work comes under communication. No, that you need to decide. How will you decide? The review of literature helps you for this. Oh, my article, my results, my components helps either to be a short communication, either to be a full-length article, either to be a cohort studies, either to be a communication. That you need to decide. So once you decide what type of article you are writing, next comes manuscript writing. Never ever write your manuscript before deciding what type of manuscript you are writing actually. If you write a paper, later onwards if you get to know that, oh, this is short communication, you need to change entirely. If you simply write your data, results, and then you can think that, oh, I want to make it as review article, you are total waste of time. And you have conducted a group study as cohort studies, and you have a result for the group, then if you write that as short communication, nobody will accept actually. It has a different format. So you need to think on that way, how exactly you need to write your manuscript. Has anybody touched this manuscript? Okay, manuscript writing, maybe 1 or 2 minutes I can just say. So whenever you write manuscript, do not write your manuscript, then search for a journal. Please do search for a journal. ಫೈಂಡ್ ಎ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ದಟ್ ಇದೇ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಪಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆ ಜರ್ನಲ್ ವೆಬ್ ಪೇಜ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೌ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಅವರೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಲೆವೆನ್ಸ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ಜರ್ನಲ್. If you write a paper for Nature and submit it for Taylor and Francis, if you submit now, by afternoon they say that it is not in our format. Come on, you can say, come on guy, this paper I wrote for Nature and I am submitting for Taylor and Francis. Why don't you accept it? Even then they say, no, sorry, this is not in our format. Immediately, maybe within 1 hour, you will get back your email. So before writing manuscript, better you search a journal, better you search the format in their journal, then think of writing manuscript. So when I say manuscript, like till today I have published around 120 plus manuscript. Based upon that I am telling, I don't follow that. Whoever has taken photo, that's not the format exactly need to be followed. I would write first materials and methods. Whatever I have worked, I have an authority, like this is what I worked. Materials and methods is the first aspect what I write. So whatever the materials and methods I have written, relating to that I will write result. Okay, I did this first experiment. What is the result? Anybody has done similar kind of experiment? This question comes in our mind. I would search that. Oh, this guy has done this. How exactly has represented the result? Photo ಹಾಕಿದನ, ಫೋಟೋ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ತರದ ಫೋಟೋ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಟೇಬಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನ, ಟೇಬಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದನು ಯಾವ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಆ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನ, ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಯಾವ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಯು ಟು ಅನಲೈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್. ಸರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆ ತರನೇ ಮಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ? ನೀಡ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್. When you have observed your result, when you have seen some other who have represented, no, I have seen at different angles. On bari 3 dimension ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, let me think of 4 dimensions. Let me think of 7 dimensions. There is a possibility. And you can give that. That becomes the basics, and later on what you can take it. After result, then I will go back to introduction. When you write introduction, you will get to know that the problem statement has to be explained in the first paragraph. The second paragraph, the review of literature, means who all have done this work, whether there is a need of work on this. If at all if there is a need of work, what is exactly required? Find out the research gaps. Hopefully you can understand research gaps. Research gaps means whatever the topic on which you are working, ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So due to this research gap, I am taking this paper and I have worked this line. So objectives of the paper at last. So this is something like what it is. After the introduction, you will get to know that, oh, introduction is something like this, others are working something like that, there are similar results, but I have different results, and there are different results, but my result is different. This is what you are supposed to discuss in the manuscript as discussion part. ಇಬ್ರು ಪ್ಯಾಸೆಂಜರ್ಸ್ ಒಂದೇ ಬಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಇಬ್ರು ಒಂದೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಂದೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಳಿತಾರೆ. ಅಷ್ಟೇನಾ ಸರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ? ನೋ. ಈ ಪ್ಯಾಸೆಂಜರ್ 1 hour ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ದ, ಈ ಪ್ಯಾಸೆಂಜರ್ 1 hour ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಇಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಸಿಮಿಲಾರಿಟೀಸ್ ಏನು, ಇಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನು. ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಟುಡೇ ದ era has started, both will be watching mobile actually. So discussion you can write in mobile what all they have seen. ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಬಂತು. This is what is discussion is all about. I don't know how many of you are cricket lovers here. ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಟ 3 ಗಂಟೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ 1 ಡೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. 1 ಓವರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 6 ಬಾಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 ಬಾಲ್ 6 ಆಯ್ತು, 2 ಬಾಲ್ 4 ಆಯ್ತು, 1 ಬಾಲ್ 100 ರನ್ನು, 1 ಸ್ಪೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಸ್ವಿಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಅವನ ಕೈಲಿ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸ್ ಇಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು. ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ 1 ಓವರ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. 1 ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ಮನ್ 100 ಹೊಡೆದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಾಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು 4 ಹೊಡೆದ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಾಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು 6 ಹೊಡೆದ, ಯಾವಾಗ ಡಾಟ್ ಬಾಲ್ ಬಂತು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲನೂ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ 1 ಲೈನ್, he has scored 100 runs. But discussion part is this much. Unfortunately, ನನ್ನ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ and there are many researchers ಗೆ writing discussion part is very difficult. So when can you write your discussion properly? If you can understand, I would say, as on today, the best discussing group is media actually, especially television actually. ಯಾರೊಬ್ಬರು ಸೆಲೆಬ್ರಿಟಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹೊರಗಿಂದ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ, 1 ದಿನ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ, 1 ಡೇ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. If you give any topic, they will be the best discussion groups actually. So we researchers need to discuss in a different way, and that comes only when you read properly, when you understand properly, when there is a proper review of literature. So once you have written your manuscript, the next problem comes is journal finder. And which journal I should select? If you have selected, if you know the topic, before writing, you can go for this, journal finder. If you know the title, if you know the keywords, you can also go for journal selection. Journal finder. If you type in Google with the keyword of journal finder, so find a journal in Elsevier, find a journal in Taylor and Francis journal suggester, Wiley journal finder, Springer journal suggester. Like in all platforms, they have the softwares to help you which journal you are supposed to submit. Journal finder. There is a big list which comes, which is relevant to your journal, your topic, your subject. Like if you can see this is where find the right journal for your research. This is from Elsevier actually. Find a journal from Springer. Like if you just type the word keyword, automatically you get the links. In that place, either you can go for topic, either you can go for keywords, either you can go for abstract. Means trailer of your research. The abstract is all about a trailer of a movie. Abstract is all about information, a short information about your research. Many of us, before going to a movie, we want to see trailer actually. Means we want to know highlights of that movie. Typically, somebody before reading your manuscript, he wants to know the highlights of the manuscript. The highlights of the manuscript is given as a part of manuscript, that is abstract. So you can also place your abstract and find a journal. So once you find a journal, the next common thing which comes in all of our mind is impact factor. To decide which journal is good, which journal is mediocre, which journal is normal, and which journal is newly launched. ಈ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕೋದು ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್. For a new journal, there is no impact factor. Minimum 4 years was there earlier, but now somehow all are in publish or perish computation. Now somehow they brought back to 2 years actually. Give us 2 years. We will try to show that we are best. So any journal can get an impact factor after launching 2 years. So impact factor tells about the journal metrics. That is one of the components in research metrics actually. So what is exactly it helps? The impact factor, commonly referred to as journal impact factor, it is a measurement of the average number of citations received by the journal. What exactly meant by citation? I think just now you was telling that what is citation, how to cite an article has been discussed already. Citation means whenever you refer, you mention in your manuscript of one article, of one author, it is said to be cited. So impact factor is mainly based upon the citations of the journal. So how will they calculate the impact factor? With a simple equation. Let me be very clear with you. You need not to understand that formula. It is very simple. I'll let you know that. I have launched one journal in this year. In this year, 100 people have cited that. That means my journal gets 100 citations. Again next year, I will get another 100 citations. So put together in 2 years, I have published around 70 articles. 35 articles in 1 year, 35 articles in another year. So that means total citations is 200 divided by number of articles published, that is 70. 200 divided by 70 is equal to, it comes around 2 point something. That is the impact factor. Hopefully you have understood that. Total number of citations divided by the total number of manuscript in 2 years gives the impact factor of a journal. If none of the articles have been cited in any of the journal, what is the impact factor? 0. So when it comes to impact factor, every year all the platforms, Elsevier, Springer, Nature, Oxford, like Taylor and Francis, all of them publishes a big list actually. We are expecting in this month. Already some have started that this year I got this much of impact factor. Calculations have already started. If you can go through, you will see, oh, last year was this impact factor and this year is this impact factor. And there were some journals which were excellent in last 5 years, last 7 years, but last 2 years some of them come down. That's why they have come out with 5-year impact factor also they are showing actually. Last 5 years my impact factor is like this. At that time they will take 5 years data. Since inception also they are taking, if they are leading journals. So some of the good impact factors I could see here. Sorry, I listed only the science journals. The reason is the highest rate impact factors. That is the reason why I have listed that. Other than that, no other reason. I got to know that there are many from other disciplines also. So this is something like that. A cancer journal for clinicians, the impact factor is around 500. It depends on citations, nothing else. So ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಕಷ್ಟ ಇರುತ್ತಾ? Based upon the reader's perspective. It's not based upon the journal perspective. ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನ ಸೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. That's where comes the impact factor. The list goes something like this. Then comes author metrics. I have my own web page actually. The simple reason is it is very easy to explain actually, because I know what is my metrics. I just morning copied actually. I was having the greatest scientist metrics. Then I thought of having my own, because in order to explain greatest scientist, I need to understand what is exactly. But I took up mine. So when you take author metrics, this is the Google Scholar web link, web page which tells, and this is what the author metrics all comes here. Look at here, the total citations is something like this. So my research papers, like 110 plus, are being cited. How many times? Around 2,178 times. Then comes the H index. I'll let you know what is exactly H index. Then comes item index. That also I'll let you know that. So when you say the index, the different platforms have come out to say, oh, indexing has to be something like this. A set of rules has to be followed for the indexing. That's why journals, in their homepage, they mentioned that this particular journal is indexed by Scopus, Web of Science, Journal Citation Index, JCR. Like there are many different indexing, abstract indexing platforms. Surprisingly, in some of the universities, they have mentioned that you are supposed to publish a paper in Scopus Indexed Journal. I think it is there in VTU and many other universities. You are supposed to publish a paper in Web of Science Indexed Journal. But unfortunately, the highest impact factor may not come under Scopus Indexed. So how to compare now? If I published a high impact factor which is not indexed, so this is where the confusion has started actually. So whenever we take author metrics, the H index comes into the picture. In simple, the H index is, the line what I understood is, n number of papers cited n number of times. Hopefully you are understanding this point. N number of papers means is to papers, so other citation is to one. Like I said, I have published around 110 publications, but my H index says that 30. The meaning for that 30 is, out of 110 publications which I published, 30 papers cited minimum of 30 times. Hopefully you are getting my point. If 100 of papers of mine cited all of them 100 times, my H index is 100. To get one H index, how many publications you are supposed to publish? One publication. One citation is more than sufficient to say that one H index I have. 10 papers, each 10 times citation, that means the total citations is 1000 and H index is 10, because 10 of my papers cited 10 times. Each article cited 10 times. That means in total I'll be having 10 papers, 10 times, each means total 100 citations. And my H index is 10. So this is what is all about H index. Hopefully ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ. In simple, n number of publications cited n number of times. It depends on the person or the author, whoever you want to see actually. If you go through my citation, you can see that there is 110 publication list. Out of that, top cited will be the first one. You can see here. You can see here. This is the paper which is being cited 200 times. Like the list goes something like this. When the list reaches to the 30th number, the serial number 30th number is 30 citations. The 31st will be having less than 30 citations. If 31st paper cited 31 citations, then my H index will be 31. 32 papers, all of them 32 or more than 32, my H index is 32. That's how H index gets improved. Or that's how H index is calculated. That means whatever I am publishing, people are reading that, people are looking for that, and people are citing in their work as an impact of the publication. It's all about that. Parallel to the H index, the G index has come. There is no much difference about H index and G index. It's a computation part. In one group they have come out with H index and another group they have come out with G index. It is almost similar, but the only change is the G index tells about average number of titles received in the publication by a group. The G index can be calculated among our group. Like I have 10 research scholars, including me it becomes 11. Whether all 10 are good, only 1 or 2 are good, what is the contribution of a group is studied by means of G index. Next comes alt metrics. How much time I have? 15 minutes. Yeah. Next comes alt metrics. I said I give more prominence to this. One great person has written an article for leading top rated public platform. Like somebody has written an article to the one weekly news magazine, or somebody has written an article to Business America. He has mentioned that if I write an article to the Business America, I will be given $10,000, which is being circulated more than any scientific journals, which is read by more than researchers. At the same time, if the same article, if I want to publish in top rated journal, something like Nature, I am supposed to pay $4,000 to the Nature. Let me know, common people, what things about this. Should I publish in that weekly article or should I publish in the Nature? Do you mean to say my metrics is inferior to the one who has published in Nature journal? I am getting $10,000 for my articles. If somebody, any one of you are interested in writing newspaper articles, if somebody is writing, our own university professor, there are many university professors, they write regularly to the leading newspapers like Prajavani. They will be paid for that. The article is highly rated, but they nowhere comes in an impact factor journal, nowhere comes as citations, nowhere comes as indexing. People started arguing actually. to consider a paper which is being submitted to one platform as no rating, something like this, what I am going to publish. There comes the altmetric action. The impact, the societal impact. I don't want to publish by paying my article. Instead of that, I publish where I get more than what I am going to pay, more than what I am going to get recognition. There are so many editorial articles in newspaper. There are so many articles in magazines. They are highly rated. They have a high impact. They comes under altmetrics. The same problem is there in our university. Whenever we discuss about this metrics, from the group of social sciences, they come out and say that, come on sir, don't always consider impact factor as an important thing. 10 is the best impact factor for our university, because we have a journal which has no impact factor, but it is highly rated actually. Please do consider this also. I rate news articles every day for which I am being paid. Please consider this as top rated than your article. This is the discussion which comes here. So that's where the altmetrics comes into the picture. Eigenfactor. In one word I would like to say this, eigenfactor. When people have started thinking about citation, I'll get more citation, I have more H index. For that purpose, people started citing their own research paper in their own papers. Like say for example, I have published 100 research papers. When I write the next article, I will cite 50 of my articles in my own paper actually. It is something called self-citation. I want to increase my H index. I want to increase my citations. This is what which has happened in the country of China. This is what which has happened in the country of Korea, and whether there are many other countries, and I am very sorry to say, including India. Self-citations has got a major problem. There comes the eigenfactor. They remove the self-citations and calculate H index. Whatever the paper you have submitted, and this eigenfactor is also refers to journal metrics. If I want to publish one of my paper in one particular journal, if I refer many articles of that journal will be very happy, because hundreds of my papers have been listed in this research manuscript. Let me publish this so that journal citation, the journal index metrics gets increased. So that also is going to be removed in eigenfactor. Self-citations, the journal of its own. Okay, so there is a differentiation in that. So all these things which has come out due to the citation index, like science citation index, SCI index, then social sciences citation index, then the Scoopers and all other citation indexes, abstracting it. Another point is I-10 index. If you go back to my personal web page, where the I-10 is around 50 plus, that is also being given there. The meaning for that is number of publications cited 10 times. N number of publications cited 10 times. That is I-10. How many? Around 110 publications. How many publications cited more than 10 is I-10. Like if I have published 110 publications, 50 of my articles cited 10 times. That is the I-10 index. So whoever is interested in going through this, they can open their web page and see that, drag down till the citation 10 comes. The next one would be 9 actually. So how many publications are having 10 and above citation, that becomes the I-10 index. Hopefully you understood this. Next comes article metrics. I have published 110 publications, but which article is doing better? One journal has published more than 2,000 articles. Out of 2,000 articles, which article is doing better? So to answer this question, they have number of times it is being visualized. Like I have taken my own paper, the article metrics, and it says that 30,400 persons have viewed, 34.4K views. More than 34,000 people have viewed your article, and 5,300 times it is being downloaded. So around 5,300 people have downloaded my article, and around more than 148 times people have cited after downloading, 148 citations. So this says the article metrics. Hopefully you understand this. First one is journal metrics. Second one is article metrics. Author metrics. Next one is article metrics and alt metrics. This is the components of research metrics. Nowadays, the major problem in any of the publication you submit, first and foremost thing what do they do is, your paper will be submitted to plagiarism check. I think just now somebody was speaking about the plagiarism actually. I don't want to tell more about that. But the first report which comes back from the journal is plagiarism report. There are many journals nowadays, they don't accept if plagiarism is more than 10%. Within 15 minutes it comes back saying that plagiarism is more, self-plagiarism. Your own article has been plagiarized. I think probably you all know what is plagiarism, what is meant to be a plagiarized, what has to be copied exactly, how many number of words. That depends on different types of plagiarism. Because there are different types of plagiarism softwares, gives different plagiarism report. I would say very clearly this. If my paper is being submitted to Urkund, it gives 0% plagiarism. At the same time, same paper is I submit to plagiarism checker, it gives 10% plagiarism. At the same time, same manuscript if I submit to Turnitin, it gives 40% plagiarism. The reason for that is, in that plagiarism software also, there are different operation strategies. How many words have been plagiarized, total sentences, number of words, number of pictures, it all comes into the picture. But as far as my knowledge, most of the standard research platforms like Elsevier, Springer, they follow the last one which I mentioned, Turnitin. In our university, we do have Urkund. If you submit your whole thesis, it says that 8% plagiarism. At the same time, the same thesis is being submitted to Turnitin, it says 60% plagiarism. So that is the difference in plagiarism software. Be careful before knowing what is the plagiarism in your manuscript, which software you are using actually. For most of the researchers, one of the tedious job is reference formatting. I don't know how many of you have written manuscript, or how many of you are yet to write your manuscript, or yet to write your thesis. During that time, we have a major problem of formatting your references. The reason is, individual journals have different formatting styles. Individual platforms have different formatting styles. References, and of course in thesis also you are supposed to write all the references in the same style actually. Most common comment we do get after the reviewer is reference format is not correct. So for that purpose, there are different softwares are available to write the references. So very easy to write references. If you select any one of the software, if you have a PDF copy, if you submit and click generate citation, it gives the citation. No need to sit and write first author, list of authors, year of publication, comma, okay, full stop, then the title, then the DOI, then the journal, year, volume, issue, all these things need not to be worried too much because the software automatically gives. All these days I was using Mendeley and EndNote, but recently I got to know that Zotero is doing better. So my suggestion is, if at all if you are interested, you can try Mendeley and EndNote because they come from good platforms like Elsevier. Mendeley from Elsevier, Thomson Reuters from EndNote, and Zotero is doing better as on today. So somebody who is interested in writing references need not to scratch your head, need not to know what exactly you are supposed to follow. Better you submit to this. And at last, I don't know whether this is being covered or not, I would like to end up whether research metrics, whether conducting research, or in any case, the ethics plays a crucial role. Unfortunately, there is a huge ethical issues. Are they countries wide? I am not talking about individual wise. The major research platforms and groups, they say that China has got no ethics because they are doing like this. They are just copying, they are xeroxing paper, they are producing paper, they are printing papers. Because highest number of papers have come from the China. But we, China and Asian countries blame that they are not doing better because of this. So for all these things, this plays a crucial role, research ethics. If at all, if all of us, means whole world, if we can follow the research ethics, probably we might not need any of the research metrics. But we are living in this world, with this competition in the globalized era. The moment you publish your paper, it goes open access. Everybody can see, anywhere, anytime, they can read and they can cite. Thank you.